Okay. This is day 1 of Uncluttered, Free Your Space, Schedule, and Soul devotional from the YouVersion Bible app website and Bible app. Day 1, Introduction to Uncluttering. Clutter? What clutter? I spent all my waking hours tethered to my smartphone. My work boundaries were non-existent, and often a last-minute tech check-in would yield a fitful night of sleep. Finishing his PhD left my husband euphoric, but limping too. The road had been a long one. He scrolled through PhD job boards, updating his resume and obsessing over his chances of landing the perfect gig. Papers to grade, endless dishes to do, overcommitted calendars. Our lives were cluttered. So we stopped. Not everything, and not all at once, but much of it, most of it. We had hard conversations and spent lots of time on our knees. We fought with God and sometimes each other because giving up things is hard. We canceled media subscriptions and pared down our mail. We stopped allowing ourselves to be consumed by the 24-hour news cycle. We cleaned out our garage, our closets, our cabinets, our drawers. Was? Na, hol dir eine frische Unterhose und ein frisches Hemd. Yeah. We said no a lot. No thank you, no really. No, not today. No, not tomorrow. Not now, not ever. We simplified our meals and wardrobes and schedules. We gave ourselves only 10 minutes of mindless internet surfing a day, then 5. We deleted apps from our phones. First, every social media app, then almost everything else. More on that later. The grace of laughs. Hey, hör auf. Ich lese für Marie. Ja, hör auf. Naomi, hol dir eine Unterhose und ein Hemd. Little by little, the most amazing things started to happen. We began to learn what was truly essential and what wasn't. And with each non-essential thing we let go of, our hearts grew calmer, quieter, more open, and more joyful. Our souls grew lighter, our relationships grew deeper, and each and every time God pried our hands off the things we clung to, He filled them anew with more of Himself. Our goal was to find simplicity, not only because of its deep roots in Scripture, but because we wanted to find ourselves again. It turns out that God had created and formed each of us for lives of generous simplicity. We only need to invite Him in to help us make sense of our mess. Over time, the question for us changed from how can we survive to how can we let God arrange our lives so we can become the kind of people that God created us to be? The answer became uncluttered. Reflection or discussion questions. Question number 1. Courtney describes being overwhelmed by the too muchness of her life. What feels like too much in your life today? Question number 2. Do you struggle most with the clutter that comes from possessions, overscheduling, or digital devices? Describe how that clutter affects your average day or week. What about it is most overwhelming to you? Question 3. Can you name 1 or 2 things that you may need to stop doing, purchasing, logging on to, etc., so you can better hear from God? Question 4. How does simplicity feel to you? What makes simplicity a Christian virtue, and how does it differ from the more secular concept of minimalism? Question 5. Read John 10, verses 10 through 11. What steals from you? What does the Good Shepherd want for you instead? And the verses. John 10, verses 10 and 11, page 8. The thief cometh not but to steal and to kill and to destroy. Shh. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep.